The NeuroDADverse podcast is produced by Squid Shack Studios.
Hey, I'm Ben.
And I'm Dan.
We're both fathers,
We're both married.
and we're both raising kids with diagnosed neurodiverse conditions.
Parenting is tough, and we're not saying it's harder for us, just different.
And sometimes that different can be hard to explain.
That's why we've created the NeuroDADverse, a weekly show where we share our wins, our challenges, and all the neurosparkly and neurospicy bits in between.
Our hope is to create a safe space for parents to share their own highs and lows of neurodiverse parenting. And just to remind you of three things.
You're doing great,
You are enough.
and you're definitely not alone.
So welcome to the NeuroDADverse. Hello again. Welcome back, including myself. Welcoming myself back to the NeuroDADverse, the podcast for, about, and definitely by parents of neurodivergent children. If you're listening to this for the first time, where have you been? We've been doing it ages. No kidding. But if you're coming back, welcome. We get together as parents of neurodivergent children and we share our wins and challenges. We look ahead to what our week might be like next week. And then we talk a bit about our bath time scores. And we just generally have a chit chat about all things neurosparkly and neurospicy. Hello again, Dan.
Hello, welcome back. I missed you last week.
That's kind of you. Hey, you had my jingleized version. You had my.
There you go.
You made me into a jingle. I think it's the best that is the best episode I've ever done.
Brilliant. I hope I did it justice having a conversation with myself for 15 minutes. But
It's pretty sparkly to do that, which is cool. Right, so yeah, just a little explainer. Well, stuff's busy, isn't it? So I couldn't quite get in and do it last week. So my reflections are kind of going to be the last couple of weeks in terms of that. But did we want to get kicked off with our 3 words? Are you still doing that? I've not been here.
you had a 1 week sabbatical. The format stayed the same.
Oh, okay.
Unless you want to change it up. I mean, I am fully prepared with our usual weekly running order.
Cool.
So
Nice.
I've
Let's go.
actually done some prep. So
Okay.
my week ahead is going to blow everyone's minds with the level
Oh,
of
wow.
detail I'm going into. So
Cool. All right. So my week in 3 words was Christmas, changes, and coincidence. I went for a triple C. What about
I
you?
like that. Yeah, so interesting one for me this week. I've gone for fast, detached, and uneventful with an asterisk because
Last time I'll comment me not being here last week. Was it fast because we didn't know that wasn't involved? I was much quicker doing it on my own, Ben. Oh, nice. Okay. So stuff that happened this week. I got some educational updates for both the kids. We had there was an opportunity for both the kids to do a put yourself to bed night. Obviously their grandparent is here, but they had that opportunity. And a couple weeks back we had my kind of my mum's side of the family. My auntie lives in residential care. We all get together the first weekend of December every year to have a big Christmas. So we had a pub lunch and peel back to our house. So they were the things that may or may not end up in my wins or challenges. What about you?
So yeah, my week included a full week of school for Frank, including a trip to the post office, a couple of after school nights with Nanny, due to me just being busy with work and not being around as much. Amy's Christmas work due last night, and Send Jim.
Cool. Good stuff. All right, so we kick off with challenges. I think you did wins when I wasn't here first last year. I was like, oh,
It was a bit of a blur, a 15-minute blur.
that's okay. Hopefully this isn't the same. Okay, so my challenge relates to those educational updates.
Mhm.
So the first educational update that sits inside a challenge is that Oscar has begun to communicate quite clearly through language and dialogue that they would not like to go to school today, please. And in some of those conversations, we were having a bit of this a couple of weeks ago, but it seems to become a little bit more pronounced, and they were opening up a little bit about, in some lessons they're allowed to draw. Oscar's favourite thing is to draw, um, and I think the tension is now coming in year 9 with some classes are saying it's not really super appropriate. You need to do your work first or whatever. And Oscar's also finding some social things a bit more complicated, and where they've kind of witnessed Mabel have some complicated social time at school. They've not been there. I think they thought that that's the thing. So we're just navigating that a bit. It's not an educational update as much as anything to say that has been a marked change over the past 3 or 4 weeks, where Oscar is now finding that they, quite matter of factly, just thinking they've done enough this week, or I've done enough school. I definitely think at the moment it's push factors rather than pull factors. Like, obviously, home is a very comfortable, safe space, but I don't really think they would prefer to be here. I think it's the pushes that they find something tough from school. So we're navigating that. It's just difficult to get to the nub of what that is for Oscar. And for Mabel, and I massively apologise if you're listening to this and you would like more detail, she would prefer I gave less detail, but Mabel has changed educational setting. She no longer goes to her previous school, for a variety of reasons, but we had the opportunity to move her school, so now she goes to a different school. And as of Tuesday just gone, she attended that school on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Was there from the start of that school day to the end of that school day. And other than meetings with SEND team, IT team, something else, she attended all the lessons.
Amazing.
Yeah. We are very much in a not run before we can walk scenario. A lot of people will say, "Oh, it's a big week, it's a big day," and I know they're coming from the right place. But I said, "Well, it's just Tuesday." To which a friend of mine was saying that, it's just downplay the expectation. Like, it's just Tuesday. To which my friend said, "You sound like M. Bison from the Street Fighter movie." he talks about for Chun-Li, it was the most important day of her life, but for me, it was just Tuesday, and I hadn't remembered that quote, and it was very funny. But it is very much like, just manage that expectation. Like, so we are, a bundle of, just Laura and I, a bundle of like, we hope, but it's bonkers really, because it's not going to be, grass is not always green. I don't know how many more cliches I can do without going into it, because I don't want to give detail, because Mabel doesn't really want
Yeah,
that.
and that's fine. You don't
Now
have
being
to.
shared, which is super cool, and I'm so glad that we've made a change, and we have a different focus. And I will be. There's a bit of a win smuggled in the challenge there, because just simply those numbers of 4 days,
100%.
all less unless there was a meeting. But yeah, but another week of school, and then 4 more terms. So we will go at a pace. I can't speak highly enough about how she's approached this and actively been saying in things. I don't really. I feel anxious about this. Not to me, but to staff at the school. So yeah, a positive, but it's been a lot of. I think I put changes in my thing. I'll also say that the put yourself to bed thing was kind of mildly challenging, although I think they did come through it quite well. Like, they're
Can we get more
organised.
context here? Are you going to explain?
Yeah,
set the
Laura and
scene.
I.
Paint me a
Laura and I both had outs, evening outs. There was an overlap, so I was out and then earlier, and then Laura went out, so there was a bit of an overlap. But that overlap happened to be the bedtime we requested that they sorted themselves out and put them to bed. So Mabel quite liked stepping into that role. Obviously, their grandma is here too, so apparently like Mabel did things that we do, like when I come back, then you turn your light off, and apparently that just went off really well. Mabel was very nonchalant. It was like, yeah, it's fine, it just happened, and it
Huh.
did happen. Like they were both asleep when I got home, so uh, yeah, maybe Laura and I should go out more often. Though we're kidding, we don't imagine that we should put that on Mabel a lot. But yeah, they seem to they're the two members of the family that can give each other a bit of stick and take it, or have a bit of yeah. It's nice. It's really nice. Um, yeah. What about you, pal? Biggest challenge of last week?
So my challenge this week, one of my 3 words was uneventful asterisk, just because I feel like there hasn't been anything super challenging this week. It's kind of been a bit of a vanilla week for me in general. Although I don't ever use the word vanilla. I don't know why I've just said that, but you know. So my 3 words are sort of fast, detached, and eventful, and it's kind of just because I just don't feel like I've been on the sidelines a bit more this week
Uh-huh.
because of schedule. Obviously, we found it
Yeah.
really tough to try and get on a record last week together,
Yeah.
and this week just feels like it's gone really quick because I've been out more, so I haven't been at home as much. So therefore, time just seems to have travelled quicker. So um, I was out basically Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, most of the days, most of the
Yeah.
nights.
Yeah.
I've literally lost over half the week, kind of FaceTime wise with Frankie. So that's the fast and the detached. The uneventful, I suppose, is because I haven't really been around. I haven't noticed anything in particular apart
Yeah.
from the last couple of days. I feel like Frankie might be, if I turn on my spidey senses, he might be at like the super early stages of potentially coming down with something.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay.
or December is start to show signs of potentially sort of wearing him out and unsettling him a little bit more.
Noticing change.
Yes. So why do I believe that something could be happening? So his sleep is starting to be a little unsettled.
Uh-huh.
We now know that historically now we generally sleep better in the winter. We don't sleep as much in the summer. We can
Uh-huh.
explore those reasons as and why at a later date. But he was getting into a better routine. He was sleeping better. He was sleeping for longer and whatever sort of in his bed. We was all having much better sleep, but now that's starting to change. He also spent pretty much all of yesterday and a little bit of Friday being sort of my shadow. Like if I got up and left the room, he was right behind me, or he would come look for
Oh,
me if
okay.
I was. So I'm like, oh, I'm just going to go to the toilet. Or I'm just going to go do something in my room, like I need to change a hard drive or something. And I'll turn around and he's come up and followed me. And that could just be because Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, he didn't really see me. And he's like, you're normally about, where are you going? But he's also been like overly cuddly, wanting to sit right, like even more up against me. Like he likes maybe not sitting on you, but like proper like rest, like the friction of
Mhm.
he's always sort of liked contact with people. He's also just before we come to record this, he just come up to me and gave me a kiss, sort of totally unprovoked. So I was like, oh, that's really nice. Normally I have to work for a kiss or
Yeah. Yeah.
something like that. So, and usually when he's not been well, because touch wood, we're quite lucky. The fact that he struggles with medication taking, Frankie isn't particularly an ill child, but when he has been unwell or not sure, he generally wants to cuddle and sit with me over Amy. So Amy's been around and he's been more like on me. So I'm like, he's either unwell or he's potentially just feeling a bit overwhelmed slash wanting to regulate and has picked me to hang time with. So some people might be going, you're basically saying your challenge of the week is that your son is actually wanting to spend affectionate time with you. And it's not exactly that, but I think the challenge is I don't exactly know what is going on. But all I can do with the
Okay.
experience I've got is he's either probably going to be unwell going into the last week of the school year, or he is starting to potentially struggle. And one of his ways of getting through that and regulating is he wants to spend more time with me, which is not a bad thing. Just to be clear with all listeners, I love that he wants to sit with me, hug me, and whatever, and spend time with me.
Of course.
But I just don't know what it is. So he did take some
Yeah.
medication when we
Well,
offered it yesterday, which usually is a sign because he will either take medicine or push it away. So maybe there is a little bit of, maybe he's got a sore belly, or he's been moving his tongue around his teeth a little bit more. So he might have something stuck in his teeth, or it could be a toothache. Again, it's that classic communication. Just
I
don't
think it's.
know what's going on.
I also think it's there's two things I want to say. First of all, I think it's interesting that like a neurotypical or a child with not specific learning needs or a particular neurodiversity, parents might kind of go, oh, there's a bit, yeah, there's behavior slightly different. Yeah, I don't know, maybe they're coming down with something, and that will just kind of go, and it won't really be a thing. Maybe they won't get unwell. Maybe they'll
Won't
just kind of
second
like
guess it.
leave it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think the I don't want to say neurosis because that's not what I mean. But the anxiety is like this could be the start of a thing that's really challenging. It's really resonates with a lot of parents of kids with special education needs, because you're like, this could be, and if I've caught it early, I can prepare myself for what could be a really challenging time. But actually, often the time, it might not be the case. The other thing is that obviously you study, there's a full week of school. And so he's obviously gone into areas that for the whole year look the same.
Yeah.
Give or take maybe a wall decoration or two.
Yep.
Depending on, and also depending on if an Ofsted inspection comes in. But
Yeah,
this
like
time of
Harvest
year,
Festival, Easter, all of that sort of stuff
yeah,
changes.
yeah.
But yeah.
But not the key spaces. Like,
Yeah. The reception
whereas
hall and
this,
stuff.
every key space will of a sudden, well, assuming,
Yeah.
Christmas decks.
Yeah.
And Christmas decorations are great and fun, and that can bring a lot of sensory joy, but also they can be massively distracting because if your neurodiversity is that you particularly like the comfort of that particular wall and way it goes,
Yeah.
or that particular space, or if that happens to be one of your safe spaces to go and stand. And the reason this chimes in my brain is because at the new place that Mabel is at, a particular member of staff runs a lunchtime send room where it's completely silent and kids go in. They can choose to do what they want. They can watch YouTube on their
wicked.
phone, or they can read a book. There's no sound in there at all. They can do drawing, art, whatever. That room specifically doesn't have any change or decoration. It just looks like the whole room looks the entire year. So
That's amazing. Yeah, that's really good.
Mabel hasn't had use of that room yet. I imagine because she can't stay silent. She can't
That's
stay
amazing,
silent.
though.
She
Yeah.
can't. Yeah, it's nice.
Like,
It's
that
just
is that is a reasonable adjustment that actually most people just
But
wouldn't
it's
think
also-
of, but that is really powerful.
Yeah, so it could just be that this looks different. Why
Yeah.
does the
He does
bus
notice
driver
stuff like
have a
that.
sparkly hat on now?
Yeah.
And it just takes longer to process that time. But
Yeah.
that does sound. Also does sound that you're aware of those tiny changes, which can also be a good important thing.
But I know you say it's, but it's
Um,
also like, am
go
I
on.
just totally overthinking it and just be like, he's just
Mm.
having a bit of a dad, you haven't been around for like basically half of this week, and
Yeah.
I'm assuming you're going to disappear again, so I'm going to follow you upstairs because if I wanted to, I think I changed my socks. I turned around, he was there. I'm like,
Sit right
is what it
there
is.
sit right there in the joy.
yeah,
sit
no,
right
no,
there
no,
in the
exactly.
joy.
So I've loved spending time
Yeah.
with, but it's just like I'm just sitting there going, it's a challenge for me, and also I'm like, is it okay? Is it the start of something bigger? Is it not? We won't know. We'll just have to enjoy the ride.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Indeed that. Okay, cool. So I think we're on to wins. A very quick one. That's about coincidence. I had I went out with some old teacher colleagues of a place I used to work with last night, and someone who I knew who worked at the place I used to work, who used to be part of the lunchtime staff, like the dinner staff, and then moved it on to be a TA, which I didn't realise. And they're a SEND TA,
Nice.
but they also have a neurodiverse child similar age to Oscar. So that super nice coincidence ended up us having like a long conversation about parenting neurodiverse children and some challenges and wins. And I kind of, when I left, I got home, I was like, oh, I kind of did NeuroDADverse in person, like without realizing it.
You cheated on me.
No,
Unbelievable. No, it's fine.
of course not. No, it's just like, it's nice to have these conversations, and yeah, nice little coincidence that happened. But yeah, as I said, we had our my mum's side of the family kind of Christmas with my auntie who is in residential care, and we all go out to a pub, and then people come back to ours, and we do some present giving, and there was 20 people, so that's a lot. So, and we've got kind of kids of preschool age, primary school age, then my two secondary school age, and then so but we ask them to pull in the secret Santa sleigh. So when
Oh,
I was a
okay.
kid, my grandfather built like a wooden sleigh, and we had what's called table presents, and they were just small table presents, and basically it was like a tombola. You dipped your hand in that. That got lost. I don't know where that went in the end of the over the course of time, and I set myself a challenge a couple of years ago to rebuild it, and I am not that way inclined. So I managed to do that with the massive help of a very good friend of mine, Caroline, and we just then covered it in felt, and now it looks like that. But I do still have all of the costume, like the Santa costume that my gran made out of felt and sewed together from the late 1980s, and I've passed that down. So the kids have worn it. It's kind of too small for Mabel now. So one of my cousin's kids was like, last year no one would wear it. It was a real struggle. Look, you've got to do this. It is my tradition. And I felt like that guy at Christmas, like, oh God, no. But this year they all ran up and like, oh, when are we doing that? Can we have the costumes, please? And I was like, oh, she's rad. This is absolute, what an absolute win. Also, Oscar and Mabel, they were all round for the Secret Santa, and Oscar was around for present opening, which did get a bit chaotic.
I can imagine.
My three cousins' kids are firmly showing signs of neurodiversity, neurosparkliness, and it was a lot for all of them. But I just felt overall, stepping back from it, it was really lovely, and they all got quite a lot out of it. They've known each other the whole time, so it's no different for them. It's just the environment was different. Like, we'd painted since the last time we were there. But my cousins and her and their three kids are coming to us for Christmas. So so we will get the opportunity to do that again. It was just a nice little. There was lots of neurodiversity in the same space, and they all seemed to kind of get on and get involved. So it was lovely.
No, that sounds awesome. So 20 people in your humble abode, is that like all the social rooms are pretty busy if like people need to get away to
Yeah, we kind of
fun?
had to cram a lot of people into one space to do the present giving and stuff, and the Secret Santa, and then the kids pulled the sleigh in. So it was a lot, but it went off really well, and it's kind of like a nice little memory. So
And a nice dry
yeah.
run for Christmas Day by the sound of it as well. Will there be 20 people Christmas Day?
No,
No, right, okay.
no,
It's
just me, Laura, the kids, and my cousins. The reason we do it is so my cousins, both there, and my cousin and her husband, they're both their parents have divorced, so they've been on like all the time they've been together, they've been on a 4-year Christmas loop.
Right.
And sadly, my auntie Denise passed away during COVID. So one of the things I said very soon was, "Hey, listen, you don't make that a 3 loop. You just come to me now, and we'll do that." So
Oh,
we're doing
nice.
that for the first time. We're doing that for the first time this year. So it's good.
Amazing. Okay.
Joyful stuff. So yeah, shall we pop back after the break and hear about your win? Got a question or want to share a story? Drop us a message on Instagram or email us at NeuroDADverse@gmail.com. Look after yourselves. Hello, and welcome back into the NeuroDADverse, where we talk all things Neurosparkly and Neurospicy. We've gone extra fast this week, so we've just got Dan's win to go before we look ahead to the week ahead. Dan, what was your win this week?
My win this week is actually Frankie's post office trip. So I alluded to my 15-minute monologue, if we're going to call it that, last week, that this year was slightly different. And the reason it was different is, so Frankie's been at his school for 3 years. The first year he didn't go, I believe, because it was his first year, just age, not an easy thing of kids of that age, let alone with additional educational support needed. Last year, they asked if parents wanted to go. I was unavailable, but Amy went along. She said it was fun, but obviously still potentially challenges along the way. The school is only, I say only, it is a few minutes, maybe to an adult, less than 5-minute walk away from their school. Obviously, kids, age under 6, that 5-minute journey can take a lot longer. So this year it was different. They didn't ask for parents to come. They used the school minibus. So Frankie, we got really good feedback on that, because obviously Frankie gets a minibus to and from school every day. This is a bigger minibus, but it's a different minibus. But I don't think it mattered that it was different. I think he just saw that minibus and went, wow, I'm going to be much higher, and this is different, and this is cool. So they went on their little journey to the post office. He was wearing his coat. It's only taken us, I don't know how many weeks now since the weather really changed, but Frankie, he just needs to warm up to things. So he was still wanting to wear his polo shirt, no jumper, no coat, up to a couple of weeks ago. He now wears jumpers, no problem going into school, but he just doesn't see the point in wearing a coat, probably because he walks 20 steps into a van, 20 steps out of a van. But he wore his coat for the whole of the trip, which was really good. And he posted his letter. We got photographic evidence of him actually posting the letter in the letterbox. So that was really nice to see on the app that we have for the school. And I just like the idea that he's posted our letter. So hopefully at some point this week we receive that. We also saw updates of him like making Christmas decorations at school, and hopefully the card that he has sent us. So that was just a nice little small win, a quick win in terms of time to take to explain it, but him being a bit more social and engaged with the outside world. So
pause there, I've got a parcel.
For listeners, that wasn't a pun. He actually had a parcel arrive at the door.
Yeah, that's true. Here it is. But this is the time of year where stuff arrives with Laura's name on it, and I can't open it because it might be a gift, and she would get very upset. However, throughout the year, I tend to just open. I just sneakily just started opening Laura's post and then telling her that stuff that you have ordered has arrived, and then she goes, "Oh, I don't remember ordering that." And I say, "Okay, but it's now open." Sometimes she likes that because she's like, "Oh, good, thanks," because it was a thing I might not have done and left it for months. But sometimes she goes, "I didn't get the joy of forgetting what I ordered and opening it." So anyway, I didn't get to do that. So there's a win and a challenge. Anyway, that goes out of there. Nice. We're back. Cool. That letter thing genuinely sounds like a tradition that now has happened once, can always happen at Christmas. Whilst Frankie is at that school, which is great. Nice. Sorry, go on.
No, and there was
Yeah.
they had updated with a couple of other bits on the app, and there was this lovely sort of I'll try and send it to you. It was a glorious sort of 3 or 4 second video where Frankie, he was out in the garden, in the outside area outside his classroom with his coat on back to front with the hood over his face, and then him just
Amazing.
uncovering his face with a smile, basically playing a game with people. That's probably how the the coat probably first started going on. He's like, I'm going to wear it this way, and now I'll wear it properly. But yeah, that was just a really nice little joyous video, and somehow they caught that on camera. So thank you, staff member that caught that. So
yeah, love that stuff. Right, where's our next thing? Is it? Oh, it's nice. It's my favorite bit of the podcast now, where we look ahead to the week ahead.
Well, I was, before we jump to your favorite bit of the podcast, I wondered, as it is 6 months plus 1 since we started. I wondered if you wanted to just have a little recap on how things were 6 months ago when we first started.
Did you? Oh no! Have you got what have you got? Have you
I
written down stuff from the first episode? Because I
I
definitely do not remember that.
I may or may not have made notes just in case you are open to the idea.
Whoa! Oh, you did
Uh,
have more. You did have more free time on your hands. Oh, this is exciting. Guess the win or challenge? I don't know. I don't need to make up.
So I wrote down what both of our wins were from from the first episode. But
God, amazing.
I also have wrote down kind of from memory now, kind of what the situation was for me just
Okay.
before we started the pod, and then in the areas of school life, parent life, communication, to try and reflect on where I
Gee.
am now. Because although we've been doing this 6 months, I feel with the power of reflection and chronicling, to use your word, just the power of every week we chronicle these small or big wins and challenges, just how different life was in the middle of 2025 approaching 2026.
Yeah. When did we? What did we do? What, like June was it time?
Yeah, middle of June we started. It was Father's Day was our first recording.
Oh yeah, of course.
So as we are now,
Blimey.
well, we're recording this end of the second week of December. It goes live at the end of the third week of December. I just thought it'd be nice to do a big recap chronicle. Can you remember what your first ever win on the podcast was? Can you remember what child it was for? See, that's easy for me. I have one child.
I hadn't even considered that I might make a choice between which child was the. Oh no! Now I want to go back and listen to them all and think which child was the win and which child was the challenge. No, that's not true. June, summer.
Well, technically, you had a small win with one, and then your main win was with the other. In fairness to you, you're not singling out your children.
That's fine. Hey, listen, don't worry. Did we have some football tournament wins? Was that the first one? Maybe
that was not your first one. If I was to tell you what your smaller named win was, it was you and Mabel went to a gig and she went off and had a really good time at the front while you were standing at the back. She said it was a band. She was like crowds mostly of your
we went
age.
to see. Oh my gosh, we went to see we went to see the Get Up Kids in Camden. That is amazing. Oh wow, was that our first? Was that 6 months ago?
That was 6 months ago. Yeah, this is where the whole ADHD, timey-wimey, oh my God, that was last week. No, it was a year ago sort of vibes come out. And that's why I thought it would be interesting. So that was your small name challenge.
What else was happening? June. Oh, I had to. So it's is it with Oscar?
Yes, it is. Yeah, it's with Oscar. It is a moment you and Oscar shared.
Don't know.
It involved it was on a journey, if that helps.
Oh, I know. They took me to school. Imagine. I took them to school and they were talking about how anxious they were.
Yeah.
I was going, it's okay to be anxious. Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. So my note here is you were driving home to school.
Lovely.
He opened up to you and you said, "Oh, I feel a bit self-conscious sometimes as well." And then they put their hand on your shoulder and said, "It's okay though."
Oh,
and you tried desperately not to cry whilst trying to get them to school.
Yeah, but actually probably should have cried. Yeah. Oh, that is amazing.
Yeah,
oh,
so
that's lovely. Oh, it's nice warm Christmas feeling of reminiscence. Oh, amazing. Yeah, that's great. This is good. This is good fun, Dan.
Yeah.
We should do this in another 6 months.
Can you remember what mine might have been? Just to put all the effort on you here, because obviously I did the research, so I know. But can you remember what my first win was? We both said we had amazing wins, just coincidentally, the time that we decided to record an episode. So,
did we do a really early send gym? Like you actually got into the send gym early, or like that you? No, it's not. It's not that. I can tell by your face.
It was related to school.
It's not school photo. Oh, is it? Do we have a sports day that went
No,
off without a hitch?
that was a couple of weeks after. My first win on the podcast was Frankie saying his first word outside of the
Mm,
home, or his second
of
word in
course,
general. Well,
of
since then
course,
I've learned he didn't say cake, he shouted cake, and
of
outraged
course.
that the dinner lady was taking away a completely untouched, uneaten piece of cake, and he was protesting. Obviously, he
Amazing.
wanted it, and I was like, "Wow, yeah,
Of course, it was the
6 months,
first word for the first pod. Oh,
yeah."
amazing.
So yeah, that was
And we're at 3. We're at 3 words we've heard Frankie say now, right?
Uh, personally, I've heard him say just one still, which was mum, his first word.
Okay,
He said school, he said cake at school, and he said thank you. And
cool.
mum, no, is it cake, mum, thank you? Yes, or something like that. Yeah. So he's not, he said 5 words once. He's definitely
Hey.
sounding like he's saying I
Oh,
don't want or I don't like in his sort
okay.
of singing. I don't want or I don't like. So it's
Nice.
kind of like sort of like that. So we're getting there. We're definitely getting a lot of vocalizations. And actually,
Yeah,
just on the
hang on.
point of, on the point of
His words.
vocalizations, go on.
Go on, keep going.
So
Uh,
I've got some great feedback from a regular listener, a friend of mine. Um, so the last couple of episodes pre to my
Mhm.
solo pod, Frankie had made an appearance for a couple of weeks in a row, and
Yes.
obviously letting us all know, and everyone got to hear his communication style via song, which is his
Uh-huh.
expressive choice of language. My friend was listening to our pod whilst walking home, taking a shortcut through a wooded area, and Frankie just appears in the pod, no warning, and said, "I must admit, Dan, I actually had to turn it off and turn around because I thought some kind of creature or fox or something was crawling up on me because Frankie's vocalizations just appeared out of nowhere, had no context because it was audio
Love
only, not
that.
visual." And I went, "I've got to share that." So I
Hmm.
told Amy, I went, "That is quite funny." But yeah,
Now you know what it's like to be certain neurodiverse people who have too much auditory overload. Um, what I was going to say was, yes, mum, cake, thank you. Quite like a communication, isn't it?
it's quite a good sentence
If
if
you,
you can string that together.
yeah, it's a sentence I would like to say a lot more than I do. Yes, mum,
Yes.
cake, thank you.
Yeah. Nice.
Oh yeah, that is rad. I'd forgotten it was the first thing. Oh, this was fun. Oh, thanks for that, Dan.
No, that's
Uh,
but yeah, just in terms of how far I've come
the,
in each of the like all those things, school just that
I'm
just was
I'm
amazing. So
I'm optimistic. So I think I'd prefer to leave it there. I'm pretty sure you've chronicled the challenges, but I don't want to relive. I don't want to relive some terror of what might potentially be. I don't know. Uh, taking them around a shopping centre or maybe a dentist or some rubbish like that. So
that was your first. That
was
was your
it?
first challenge, yeah.
Oh no,
Oscar had
it
a
seems.
surprise dentist trip.
Oh
Yeah.
God, yeah. Oh. Well, I'm really glad they opened up emotions to me that week, because
Mhm.
if they hadn't have done it, it would have been a tough week.
I know.
Talking about weeks, my segue into the now infamously jingleized that word is
I
now
was thinking the same thing. Jingleized. That's a cracking word. Don't know if that's allowed in Scrabble.
I've got better, Dan. I've got better. My favorite section of the podcast. Sorry, my creative brain now, part of my brain is racing to try and name that that what is now going to be a 6 monthly section. Anyway, I shouldn't do that. I think Dan has created or us on the podcast, a vocalization of the next piece of the podcast where we look forward to what is happening in the next 7 days. It's look ahead to the week ahead. So yes, looking ahead to the week ahead, with all the pomp and circumstance it deserves. What have you got on the calendar, Dan?
Right.
You've done clearly some extensive note taking. If you forgot to do this bit, to be fair, you always do, and we always work it out. Go
No,
ahead.
no, buckle up, everyone. I've got correct intel in relative detail. There you go, a little bit of a rhyme. Okay, so my week ahead, I'm definitely going to be around a lot more. My busy couple of weeks of work is it's going to be quieter now. So last week of school, funny enough, we've got a dentist appointment tomorrow. So we're starting our week with the dentist.
Right.
I did mention a few weeks ago that the dentist that we've built such a rapport with and was really getting places with is leaving. So this might be or might not be the last time we see them.
Yeah.
If they're there or not, I don't know. But we will be asking around what the new normal or next normal could be looking like.
Yeah.
So that might be a win, or that could be the challenge.
Mhm.
By 9 o'clock Monday tomorrow, we will find out.
Oh, you're not having it
Uh,
at the normal dentist time?
Normal dentist time. We always
Yep.
try and do. Is this a joke? Have I missed something? You're really
Yeah.
confusing me with your face.
There are people who know me who know that this joke is terrible, but I quite like telling terrible jokes because then, anyway, as a whole thing. The normal time you go to the dentist, 2:30. Yes. It is a dad podcast essentially, so we could.
I
go.
do love dad jokes. I can't believe I did not put that together.
No,
but
it's okay. It's okay.
very good input. That's I love that. Love that.
Okay.
So yeah, new dentist potential appointment
Cool.
tomorrow. So we will get through that one. So that
Nice.
means disruption to his day because he's not going to be going in the minibus. We're going to take him to school. We'll see how it goes. I'll report back next week. So start off with
Cool.
the dentist. It's his last full week of school. He breaks up on Friday. So for those of you that subscribe to us on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or any other platform that you can listen to podcasts on, that will be right as of today that you're listening, because you get downloaded 4 hours before we actually would have done that. So that will be live. You can think about us when your subscription drops. So it's also school party, Christmas party day on Thursday, which usually
Yeah, we've got a bit of that.
ends the day early. So me and
Okay.
Amy, potentially my mum, are going to go along. Last year, me and my mum went, and it was cool. It was fun just to, because he gets transport now. I don't get to meet the other parents, so I haven't met the new parents and the new children in his class.
Okay.
And I'm really looking forward to meeting some of the kids that he's been making friendships with as of his
Nice.
EHCP review a couple of weeks ago. We have also got hopefully my potential win of next week is we're going on Saturday, so the day before we record the pod, we're going to do the Lights of London tour.
Okay.
Or we're calling it the Lights of London. I think there probably is a tour where essentially we're going with our old neighbours and we're going in their car and we're going to drive around London and look at all the Christmas lights, because Frankie likes being in cars. He'll like the lights,
Yes.
and that should be a thing.
Just to clarify, neighbours you used to live next to, or their older age?
They are the neighbours that we used to live
Okay.
next to when Frankie was born during the
Okay.
lockdown years. It is the same neighbours that we did the failed beach trip with. So hopefully there won't be a tide in
Dan.
sight.
No,
Because
Dan.
if there is a tide, that means
Dan.
London is flooded.
I will accept that it didn't go as you wished it to go. It was not a failure. There was a lot of learning that happened there. Do wish to warn you,
Yeah.
in London, there is a big river. The tide does affect it somewhat.
Yes, well, I'm
But-
hoping I haven't just accidentally flooded London just before Christmas. But no, the trip to the to
Cool.
the beach wasn't ideal. Lots of learnings happened post it, but yes, it wasn't
Yes, of
the
course.
beach
Yeah.
day that we were hoping. So looking forward to that one. We think this could be
Nice.
something that is festive that Frankie should enjoy.
Just as the thing, you've branded it as like the Lights of London tour. Are you just going up there solo and going to look at some lights? It's not like an organised get on a bus,
No,
buy a ticket
well,
thing. Oh,
there might be something of a similar name. Amy just called it Lights of London. I like the fact that it was LOL. I was like, I can remember
yeah.
that. But yeah, it's
What I mean is, it's not a
following
thing
the
like
Christmas
where you
lights.
have to. You're just doing it
Yeah,
yourselves, DIY. You're
Yeah.
not going to be going to have to wait in a queue, get a ticket, do a thing. Okay, fine.
No,
Sounds
thank you.
lovely.
yeah. So
Sounds lovely.
that's our way of doing it, because I think there are tours for that.
Yeah, of
But
course.
essentially, we're volunteering to drive around London in heavy traffic for multiple hours to try and get the experience of Christmas lights outside in a way that Frankie should be able to engage and enjoy. And he can just sit in the back of the car and eat and drink as much as he likes, because
Yep.
no doubt they'll
100%.
bring him loads of snacks. So that I'm
Cool.
hoping that goes off without a
Lovely.
hitch. And then on Sunday, before we record pod, we're going over to Amy's cousin and Frankie's cousins for a family festive meetup. So quite a lot happening,
Nice.
despite it being a school week. And
Yeah.
we'll see how it goes. But there you go.
Well,
That's
man.
my most detailed look forward to the weekend. See what a jingle
Nice.
does for my motivation.
Yes, I know. I'm busy thinking up verses for the song. But anyway,
Produce away.
the jingle will be longer than the segment. So super quick. We have the final week of school for both of them. They both finish on Friday.
Do you finish on Friday as well?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
They have both of them will have some elements of the school week that's different. I think that's important.
Mhm.
Obviously, it is a new setting for Mabel.
Yep.
So they have some stuff going on that we've been made aware of. Who knows? Like, that might be good because it's all new. So yeah, when it's been deregulated like last year at her previous school, there was a lot of anxiety relating to other kids, and the dysregulation came from the fact that it wasn't super clear with what was happening for me. Like, it's not period 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A lot of things are collapsed. Relax, do what you want. Oh, I need a little bit of structure. Oscar, they did it in a more structured way, but it's less like that in the secondary than it was in primary. So we'll see. We're going to be invited to a friend of Mabel's family have invited us over for dinner on the Saturday, which should be lovely. They just got some new cats, so Oscar and Mabel are going to be particularly interested in that, like little kittens, which is cool. I don't know how it's going to go because Mabel's in a different school, but normally the last day of term is a little tradition that I've invented and have done since they were little, where as soon as I get home, they get straight in the car and we go to where there's a bunch of shops and I get them to choose whatever they think they want to buy their mum for Christmas.
Oh.
And over the period of that is now, we're on a 10-year stretch of them doing it. Now, when they were 4, both of them just picked. I mean, when they were 4, I just went to a supermarket and they just picked things. And it was like a massive fluffy cushion or I think sometimes a screwdriver set. Like they just picked. And over the times I've been able to go, do you think mum would like this? Do you think mum would like that? But equally, it's become one of those things that they don't really want to do. Now they're like, can't we just buy this offline? And I'm like, we are being dragged around. So that will be fun, but I'm not really sure how that's going to go because for a full week of school, Mabel having missed quite a lot of school,
Okay.
I don't know what vibe Oscar's going to be in. But hopefully that will happen.
Are you still going to the same supermarket, or are they making you go to like higher end
Nah,
shops now?
No, now they're saying I want to get this, and we're going to go to a place. I
Amazing.
fear they're going to tell me to drive. I don't fear, but like I think they're going to tell me to drive to like a city that's nearby us, like a place that's nearby us that's got things, and that will be on that Friday, last day of term for most people. Very busy, so there'll be some challenges. But
No, that
yeah,
sounds nice though. Yeah.
that's kind of it. Got to put up the Franken-Tree this week as well.
Totally forgot to say that is actually on. That is the last pot. I've just looked here. We're doing our Christmas tree goes up next
Oh, nice.
Saturday or Sunday, and we're
Sorry,
only
I
having it out
realised
for a week.
I realised that I've dropped the phrase Franken-Tree, but do you know what? Have I explained what that is?
No, but
It's like, it's
I heard the
okay.
word tree and went, yes, we have to put our tree up.
It's nothing to do with your glorious child. It is historically Laura did not want stuff that the kids had made at primary school going on the tree. She wanted a bit more control for it to look a little bit nicer.
Themed, yes.
Years later, we have a diagnosis to know why, perhaps. But it always looks incredible. So I thought, as a different way of doing that, and to honour the kids' expressive work that they did in primary school, and also to keep hold of some things that they had when they were younger, we'd get a little tiny blue tree, and we'd just stick all of the rubbish and their artwork, because their artwork was not rubbish, and we just put it on there. So like broken toys, so there's like this old Skeletor toy that's got one arm hanging off that I used to have, but also the kids used to have bath toys. They're squeezy bath toys. They've got a hole in them, and the water gets all in the
Mm.
scalp. Well, if you're in our household, it did. Like they're in there, and like also things they made at primary school and infant school. It's just a big box of them, and it looks a bit when you make it all up together, and like trashy tinsel and rubbish. And rather than throw it all out, we keep it, and it's called the Franken-Tree because it kind of looks like Frankenstein. You piece it together, and then it becomes sentient and learns emotions. Um, not really, but we've got to put that up this year. We haven't done it yet, and each year the kids don't ever want to do it, not because they don't want to do it, but because to get them both in the same place doing the same thing is always a challenge. So I look forward to sending a photo of that once it is done, because
Nice.
it looks mad, but I like it. Cool. Yeah, good. Nice. Bath time scores very quickly. In the lead up to going out for my mum's side of the family Christmas, meant that we had two bath times in a week because we had to go on the Saturday before we
Okay.
went. These went off relatively without a hitch. Oscar is actually showing very less annoyance at being kind of encouraged and hurried on, I'd say. I think it's like a 9 out of 10, just because it doesn't seem to. Oh well, Laura did one of them as well, and Laura was not deregulated. So yes, we are good energy with that.
Good energy.
So yeah, very nice. How's things bath wise for Frank?
So, as we are recording slightly earlier in the day, we did not say this to listeners, but to those of eagle eyes, they might have noticed that it is a lot brighter in this recording than it usually is. So we are yet to have our Sunday
Okay.
night's bath. The last bath that we had was Friday night, and I'm going to go with a 7.
Okay.
The reason I'm going with a 7 and not an 8 was it relatively went off without a hitch.
Did you do it, Dan?
I did do it. Yeah, I do.
I
I do the
like this
baths after
bit.
school.
I like
So
that bit.
he then, because we've been using the medicated shampoo and whatever. It looks
Oh
like
yeah.
it's not getting worse. Unknown if it is healing, solving whatever's going on, but he's let us do that. And I'm saying the challenges of trying to keep his hair dry once he's wet it for 3 to 5 minutes is a challenge, but we got through that. The reason I give it a 7 and not an 8 is he's been a little bit cheeky with the last couple of bath times, because he seems to be back in that rhythm of really enjoying the bath, and he's trying to find new creative ways to flood the bathroom. So that is why I gave it a
Nice.
7.
Do you think that's active attempts to flood or just fun sensory overwhelm?
So the method he used on this last bath was he takes a mouthful of water, then he looks at me, smiles, and then squirts it out. Cool, fine. I go, oh, no,
Okay.
don't do
Yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah.
So we make it a game. The last bath, he was doing that, looked at me, and then leant right over and then just squared it all over the floor. And I was like, no, what are you doing? But because I kind of do it high pitched and gamified it, he was
Yeah.
like, I'll do that again. So as I was turning around to get something to wipe the floor, a second wave come over me, and I had to ask him nicely not to keep repeating that.
Interesting.
So just because he gave me a little bit of extra bath time
Mm.
admin, I give it a 7, not an 8. But we are
Okay.
very much enjoying. He's like enjoying being in the bath again. He does have these. He either just
Yeah,
gets
it's
in there,
fine.
does what he gets out, or but yeah. So I'm going to give it a 7.
Nice.
Well, amazing on the 9, by
Good
the way.
stuff.
That's good.
Yeah,
Well,
well, I just feel like they are starting to get that if they don't wash regularly, there's some things about, I don't know.
yeah,
We're
no,
working
that's
it
good.
out. And I think the fact that we can communicate about it is really good. Yeah, it's
Amazing.
good. It is good. It's good. All right, fantastic. Well, this was lovely stuff. I am all good for next week. We'll catch up then. If you have been listening to this or watching this and enjoying our rambling chats about parenting neurodivergent children, And that's great. Please tell some other people about it who you feel like might enjoy this. We can be found also, if you want to get in touch, is the bit I'm getting to. Please email us the NeuroDADverse at gmail.com. We're also on Instagram and TikTok. You can listen to us wherever you listen to podcasts. And we hope that you have a good end of the academic year, should that happen around in the middle of this week or next week. And just remember our 3 little things that Dan's going to tell you.
You're doing great. You are enough, and you're definitely not alone. Win the week.
That's about it for the NeuroDADverse. We'll be back next week.
If you laughed, cried, or nodded in tired agreement, don't forget to follow us and leave a review. It helps more parents find us.
Just remember, you're doing great.
You are enough, and you are definitely not alone.
Got a question or want to share a story? Drop us a message on Instagram or email us at neurodadverse@gmail.com. Look after yourselves.